space and just come in as close as you feel comfortable, and I hope that means all the way up. Thank you, and introduce yourself to the people you're sitting next to. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Yes, thank you. As you're coming in, Shir Tikva's practice is to wear masks when we have over 30 people in the space. We have masks out in the social hall if you're like, I didn't bring one. But just so you know, there are masks outside. Thank you so much for this collective practice. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna grab a siddur. It was amazing. You were like, I was just asking if you wanted one. It was perfect. And I want to ask sixth graders. Great. Do you want to say that into the mic so they know?
One other quick pregame announcement. Sixth graders, we're going to ask you to come up in a little while to help us light candles.
I know. I can see you though.
How are things?
Came over, but my mom's in the hospital.
Is she still local or?
Yeah, she lives in assisted. Hopefully she can take it.
She's still in the hospital. That's a long way.
So I'm carrying that with me.
Are you the main support person?
My sister. I'm a friend of it. Who's on the right. Yeah, she's a big time sister.
Keep us posted like mid-service if there's like anything in the document today that you like feel like, I don't know, if there's ways that you should show up, if there's ways to like you just want to like break off out of the way and like breathe a little bit, like whatever you need to make it through.
Thanks. I might. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can rest. Yeah.
Getting a powerful glare.
Pardon me?
I'm getting a powerful glare. I feel like my face on the Zoom is going to be like
Well, they can close the shade. We used to do that when it was daylight savings time last year. Because those things do come down. See how that one is?
yeah. Let me see if I can fuss with it quickly.
Yeah. No, you should, because it'll get worse. It's the sixth graders. Are you a sixth grader? You have a sixth grader. Hi, honey. it the one who gave her the table, or no? Oops, the mics are hot here. Yeah. Hi.
How fun.
Minor responsibility. With great minor power comes great minor responsibility.
Do you have an extra outline or
Yes.
no? Okay. Because Dr. Mindy was asking for one. Doctor.
Oh, thank
I
you.
used to tell, yes, Dad, I married a doctor. He was like, whoa. Yeah. And we have stereophonic rabbis. You guys should be on either side of us, right? So we're surrounded by rabbi surround sound. Oh, okay. Okay.
We're going to get started, everyone. We're going to get started on page 10, Hine Matov Umanayim. How sweet it is. How good it is to be gathering together.
Hine matov umanayim sheberachit gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim sheberachim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Assalamu Alaikum. Shalom Aleichem, Assalamu Alaikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Alaikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Alaikum. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim sheberachim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So, how good it is. It's so sweet. So sweet to be together. My name is Rabbi Ariel, and I'm so glad to be welcoming you to the Shir Tikva Sanctuary. Those of you who are joining on YouTube and our Makom Minyan on Zoom, and everyone here on 50th Street on occupied Dakota land, it is such a joy to be together. I have brown hair and light skin, and I'm wearing a headband and glasses for visual access. And I am so grateful to be leading the service with.
I'm Rabbi Joey. I also have brown hair, curly brown hair, and glasses, and also just so happy to be here tonight.
And I am Rachel Lipkin. I have, gosh, I think my hair is gray now, glasses, and a beautiful blue guitar.
I'm Mindy Benowitz. I have silver and brown, curly short hair, purple glasses, a green tunic top. Happy to be here.
And welcome to our sixth graders and their families. So glad to have you in our sanctuary tonight. Welcome to each of you who is joining us on Zoom, and welcome to you who are on YouTube, and welcome to each of us here in this space on 50th Street. Let's just take a moment and feel the lines of connection that form our minyan, stretching out to Western Mass and Oregon and all the way across the ocean to Hawaii. I know. Unbelievable. And then also just stretched exquisitely close between each of us here in this space. If you want to take a moment and look around, wave to the camera, just say hello to each other. We're here, we made it. So I'm wondering, is there anyone who's here, either in the sanctuary or on Zoom, who is here for the very first time? If you're here for the very first time, would you raise your hand so we can welcome you? Welcome! Hello, little baby! It's classic baby, always upstaging everyone
One in
else,
every
you know?
crowd.
And I'm wondering, is there anyone who's here in the sanctuary who's back, either, and in all of our definitions of sanctuary, who's back for the very first time in a long time? Okay, welcome. Welcome. So we read in Talmud that Shabbat used to be announced by a series of 6 shofar blasts, spaced so as to signal people to stop doing their weekday work and get ready for Shabbos. And Rabbi Shlomo Tzvi Schick of Kortzag taught that those 6 blasts could be connected to the 6 psalms that we recite during Kabbalat Shabbat. So this Rabbi Schick is reminding us we don't need to enter Shabbat all at once. We can let the sweet invitation of our psalms and the sweetness of our singing draw us closer to our day of rest. And I think Rabbi Schick is also reminding us that it's our responsibility, it's our opportunity to lay down our week, little by little, that we might make space for breath and connection and nourishment. So let's do it. There might be some of us in this space who are ready to just go throw down the last week, and just maybe some of you are already in Shabbat. And there can be some of us who it might take all the way until we get to Lechad Odi. But let's pay attention to the way we allow our week to release. And when we greet Shabbat with Lechad Odi, let us also greet ourselves a little bit more open, a little bit more ready to rest. So I would love to invite our 6th graders to join us up on the bima and help us light our Shabbat candles. So if you want to come on up.
And watch out for the cords.
That's right.
Cords.
Watch out for the guitar cables and mic cords as you come on up. The candle lighting blessing is on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. It's so great to see you together as a class. Thanks for helping us enter Shabbat.
You all, next time I see you up here, it will be on various of your bar mitzvahs. We have just the total pleasure tonight of giving a birthday bracha, and I'd like to call Lisa Brownstein up. Oh, Lisa. Happy 55th birthday. In my short time here, your smile, your dance moves, your steady presence in the front row, it's been a grounding force for me, and I feel like I'm not alone in saying I always look to see if you are up here and know when I see your face that it's going to be just a more joyous service. Thank you. I want to bless you with the Hebrew number of your age, which adds up to the letters Nun He, which forms the words Noha, which is just kind of fun to say. Noha. This word means distinct or special, and is such a special word that appears only once in the entire Bible. I want to bless you with a year that feels singular, that feels filled with distinction, a time that you will remember, a time of feeling deeply your own wisdom and deeply sensing the curiosity that will keep you seeking for the rest of your life. But most of all, I want to bless you with a year of feeling distinct, of being surrounded with friends and family and community that remind you exactly how special of a soul you are. So take in that specialness for 1 second. Just look around and see these souls around you. And let's sing it out together. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu, 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 uvechol Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, uvechol Yisrael. We take all of that energy, all of that love, all of the koach, the strength that Lisa has sent us into our singing tonight. We'll start on page 12, number 3 online.
L'chunaranana, l'Adonai, na'ariya, l'tzor yeshenu, nekadma fanav, betoda, bizmirot, na'ariya lo. Let us praise Adonai, creator of mountains, the depths of the sea and the land. Sing praises to God, whose power is all around us. Come sing with joy to God. T'chunaranana, l'Adonai, na'ariya, l'tzor yishenu, nekadma fanav, betoda, bizmirot, na'ariya lo. Let us praise Adonai, creator of mountains, the depths of the sea and the land. Sing praises to God, whose power is all around us. Come sing with joy to God. Come sing with joy to God.
Let's continue on page 13. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. And I just, as we sing these words to another beautiful melody by Rachel Lipkin, incredible in-house composer, I just want to invite us to really think about what are the noises, what are the songs that each of us is carrying tonight? What are the noises we have to make to be able to just be ready for Shabbos? And just know there's nowhere like Shir Tikva to just make our noises. Just sing this new song with joy, with courage, playfulness, humility. But let's bring our voices out and join together in song.
And lies.
Oh, great.
If you want to, dies, whatever you want to.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai. Yom Liyom, Yeshua Tov. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom, Yeshua Tov. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom, Yeshua Tov. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom, Yeshua Tov. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom, Yeshua Tov. Okay, this is a new prayer that I have written, and it's on page 19 of Mishkan Tefillah, and it's also number 5 on the Siddur. And it comes from Psalm 27. Is it what the 7 is the line? So, and also 29:11. And I was being very mindful and conscious about how often we light candles, how often we make a spark in our prayer, in our ritual, whether it's Shabbat, whether it's Havdalah, whether it's, my sister had a Yortzeit last week, lighting the Yortzeit candle. And it struck me as I saw that top line on the psalm, Kol Adonai chotzev lahavotesh. And what that means is the voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. And this is a prayer that I'm told, and rabbis, if you know something different, I was like trying to look at this, that this was actually a prayer that people might think about when they see lightning. That it's a prayer for lightning, that all of a sudden this fire shows up. Well, you're not just lighting a Yortzeit candle, you're not just lighting a Shabbat candle. The voice of Adonai is part of that spark, is part of that creating the combustion and the flame. And so that was very comforting to me. I know I observed my sister's Yortzeit, and I lit the Yortzeit candle. I said Kaddish, and then I chanted this. And the second part of it with Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. The translation I had read is, may Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being. And it's that the flame is kindled by Adonai, and we're going to be okay. Thanks to Adonai, we're going to, that spirit, that force. And so is our community. So it was very comforting. So I will just, this is the part of the service where we do psalms, so this is another psalm. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. Want to try that? Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. Then it repeats, but it's a little different. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. Again. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. From the top. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. Kol Adonai chotzev lahavodesh. Kol this is for well-being. Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Kol Adonai chotzev la'avodesh, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
We continue together with Ana Bechoach, which you'll find in your purple sheets, number 1.
Ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir zerura, tatir zerura, kabel rinat ancha, sagveinu, tahareinu, nora, ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir zerura, tatir zerura, kabel rinat amcha, sagveinu, tahareinu, nora. Ay, 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 Adonai, oh, ay, 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 oh, ay, Adonai, 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 oh. I believed in solid ground, till I saw the earth in motion, in the winds of steady change, and in the air, the rolling ocean. Ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir zerura, tatir zerura,
We get to greet Shabbat now in whatever form we need, whatever rest we need to sink into. On page 20, number 7 online, the words of Lecha Dodi. As is our tradition, during the last verse, we get to burst open the doors of the synagogue, and anyone who wants to can come outside and greet spring with us.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamor Zachor Yiburecha, Hishmianu El HaMichad, Adonai Echad, Shemo Echad, L'Shemo Tiferet Ve'Litila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki lekol habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, כולי שעיר מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט פרק הברכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה.
shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, u'b'tzmola, toch emuneh, am segula.
You know, it's
Happy
so
spring.
nice, and it's so Jewish and joyous. Okay, you're there. Let's see. Okay. Let's pretend we've been singing the whole time. How about that? La 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 lecha dodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat likrat avila. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Uh-oh. Was the record broken? No. La 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 lecha dodi. La 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 likrat kala. La 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat lekavela.
Good Shabbos. We'll take the next 4 minutes to greet, which has already started, the next 4 minutes to greet your neighbor. If you're looking for a quieter space, the Oneg Hall is a great place to be. We'll come back together in 4.
I know. We kept going over and over. So then we were quiet a little bit. They go, okay, let them think we've been singing the whole time. Yeah. Good.
Ya la 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 ya la ya la yo. Ay ya la la ya la ya la oh. Ay la 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 ya la yo. Ay ya la la ya la ya oh. Ay ya la 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 ay ya yo. Ay ya la la ya la ay la yo. Ay ya la ya ay ya yo. Ay ya la ya ay yo.
We'll come back together, calling ourselves collectively to prayer, rising in body and spirit on page 28, number 8 online.
Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Ai da 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 da. Ai da 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 da. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Standing if it's your tradition, or seated if it's your tradition, we turn to page 34.
Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
You can be seated.
We turn to page 37 and sing this interpretation of Ve'ahavta.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my needs so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
We'll continue in a second on page 40, number 11 online, but first, a word of Torah from Rondi.
Shabbat Shalom. When I grew up in the late 50s and early 60s, children who lived in the city walked to school. And each morning, after I kissed my mom goodbye at the front door, there I was, navigator of my own universe, crossing my own wilderness as I negotiated the 4 blocks to Willard Elementary School. This, I thought, is freedom. I skipped down the stairs to the sidewalk, turned left, walked the half block down to Vincent and 15th, and take a right. As I walk, I look down the sidewalk, taking care not to step on any cracks. I look up at the clouds floating above. I get to Upton, pause at the curb as I will at each corner and look both ways before crossing. At Thomas, I might start to skip. At Sheridan, I'll bring up my knees and swing my arms like I'm a soldier marching. In fall, I will kick up piles of red and yellow leaves. In winter, I'll funnel through steep snowbanks piled up high on either side of me. And in spring, I might smell the lilacs, or watch a robin pecking for a worm, or just pause because I can. When I reach Russell, I am at the corner of our schoolyard, have conquered the wilderness, and run to find my friends so we can play before the bell rings. Tonight, when we sing Micha Mocha, the song of liberation, let us remember that freedom is not a single act that comes from the hand of God. The wilderness is always before us, and freedom comes each moment we are alive to the spirit within and the world around us.
Let's sing together on page 40.
Ay, ay, lie, lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, ay, lie, lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, ay, lie, lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, ay, la, lie, lie, ay, la, 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 lie. Bi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, bi chamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef
We'll turn to page 42, number 13, and sing just another great Rachel melody.
It's a Rachel thing. Here we go. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha.
You're invited to rise in body and spirit on page 44 for Vishamru, which will carry us right into the Amidah, the following page 46.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat, edoratam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat, edoratam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat, edoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat, edoratam berit olam.
Uvayom hashvihi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash.
Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat, edoratam berit olam.
We'll begin our Amida on page 46, singing together and then going into quiet.
Adonai, Satai Tiftach, Ufi Agi, Tehilatecha. Adonai,
yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
With hearts wide open, we pray for healing in this time, for healing of body, for healing of spirit. And we take time as a community to share the names of people we're praying with aloud or in the chat, to hold the people close who we know are in need of healing, and also to just extend our prayers out. So we're going to take that image of the Sukkot Shalom, this full, whole Sukkah of peace, of healing, and just allow that Sukkah to hold all of those who are in need of healing at this time. And so when I look around the room, I'm going to invite you to share names aloud. And please don't worry about saying names at the same time as someone else. Let's just allow our space and our chat to be filled with the neshamot, with the souls, with the names of those who are in need of healing.
Jody Seltzer, Michelle Rosinko, Joni Berg.
Elna Refana La 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 Elna
Shabbat
Here we go. Let's try that again. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
It's just so good to see our space here bustling with so many voices, to see so many screens on our Zoom screen. It feels like a full house in terms of numbers and in terms of spirit tonight. So thank you all so much. Some years ago, I went to Gann Jewelries in Boston, a great many-generation family business, to get my wedding ring resized. The ring was over 100 years old, and the Gann family member who initially looked at the ring thought that it couldn't be done. But a person who the initial Gann referred to as quote-unquote Pops, who might have been his grandfather or potentially his great-great-great-grandfather, took one look at the ring and said, "Oh, that's no problem. You can throw that ring in the shrinking machine." I didn't think much about this interaction until a few days later. The thought occurred to me, wait, did the Gann family create a shrink ray? My childhood memories of watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, of longing for devices that could magically alter the size of the world flashed before my eyes, and indeed, a week later, I picked up a perfectly resized, not at all damaged wedding ring. The shrink ray is real, people. I've been thinking about the Gann family smallifier this week as I've been chewing on a different act of inexplicable shrinking. We read this week in the beginning of the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, which conveniently begins with the word Vayikra. Last week we saw Moshe finishing the construction of the Mishkan, the traveling tabernacle. We heard that Moses was unable to step into this holy place. And the next chapter of our tradition begins with God welcoming Moses with the word Vayikra, which the King James Bible renders as, "And the Lord called unto Moses." This highfalutin language is true to the Hebrew. We see here a formal invitation from God to Moses. There's something strange about this invitation. The last letter of the word Vayikra, Aleph, is tiny. In our Sefer Torahs and in every other kosher Torah scroll, this Aleph is written at a smaller font. What is the deal with this tiny Aleph? Over the last few days, I've asked this question of our JAMI students, our religious school students, our Minyan members, anyone that I could find. A lot of appreciation to Julie Jacobs, who's heard me and many others talk about the tiny Aleph about 7 times this week. Our kids and our Minyan members brought a bunch of wisdom to this question. And I'm eager to share it, but before we get there, I would love to hear all you all's thoughts. Why do you think this Aleph, this final letter in God's invitation to Moses, is written so small? I have a microphone here. If people have thoughts, please wave yourself wildly. I'll also be looking at the comments in the chat. And I'm wondering if anyone has any thoughts. Ooh, I see a hand in the back row, potentially. I see some. Any guesses? Any thoughts?
To keep the invitation humble.
I love it.
Are you being voluntold or do you want to?
Because like Moses, he was so special and he was like a leader, but he didn't brag about it. He didn't show other people and he wasn't like being all mean.
I love that. I feel like we're having two sides of the same coin here. On one side, maybe the invitation is humble, and one side, maybe the person who is being invited, the invitee, is humble.
In music, sometimes when you bring your volume down to pianissimo, people are listening very carefully And I suspect that's what was going on.
I see in chat from Hannah, perhaps that God was saying, of course you're welcome, and of course you're invited, but just in case you have any doubt, here is a little invitation, especially because Moses, as others have said in our space, is such a humble person. I see Sam saying in the chat, wondering if there's a different word formed by dropping the aleph. Sam, you are looking into the future. I'll say something about this in just a moment.
So we've got 1, 2.
It's little so that to show that it's the invitation is not just for Moses but for other people too.
I love that. Let's hear 1 or 2 more thoughts.
You know when you yell across the house at someone and then you turn around and you realize they're in the same room as you? Like, maybe God realized Moses was already there. Like, hey, Moses! Oh, you're here.
I think that is a mic drop. I want to end with 2 answers to this question, one coming from Midrash and one coming from the wisdom that I've heard this week in this community. Okay, there's a Midrash that Moses was ambivalent about a grand welcome into conversation with God. Moses did not see how God could possibly mean to give Moses the honor of being welcomed like a prince or a king. Moses, ever humble, wanted it to be written in the Torah, Vayiker, which is Vayikra minus the aleph. This word means happened upon. Moses feels like he doesn't deserve to be seen as being drawn in by God. Instead, Moses simply wants to be remembered, wants to go down in history as the guy who stumbled into or ran into God. God was having none of this. You deserve to be welcomed, Moshe. The 2 of them bickered, and according to the Midrash, they came to a compromise. Moses would be, whatever he wanted, one way or another. He was going to be Vayikrad, but with a softer, smaller final letter, pointing towards the less formal run-in that Moses longed for. I told this version of the story both to our Jammy folks and to our minyan. Both crowds wondered if the story might go a different way. Perhaps it was God, not Moses, who longed for a more intimate greeting. Elia, an awesome 7th grader, wondered whether God might be exhausted by this point after narrating the entire Torah. Maybe God has run out of breath and simply couldn't get out the full word, Vayikra, and could only mumble, Vayikra. Picking up in this vein, Tamar Gedalia, who joins us on Zoom and is an amazing educator and regular in our minyan, wondered whether God might be pulling back in order to make space for Moses. Tamar and Elia's thoughts anticipate a midrash that I want to leave us with today. The midrash begins with the assumption that the final aleph of Vayikra stands for one of God's grandest names, Adon HaOlam, master of the entire universe. Sensing and matching Moshe's apprehension, God felt uncomfortable starting this dialogue with humanity with such a huge name. So to meet Moses, to meet humanity, to meet the divine where all of us are, God used God's holy shrink ray, transforming Adon HaOlam into a whispered Adon HaOlam. I wonder about all of these acts of shrinking, the power of this model of pulling back as an act of humility, and the limits of this model, the moments when fear or self-consciousness make us shrink. The beauty of this scene, I think, is the mutuality, the sensitivity, the deep knowing that in partnership, a collective act of becoming small creates a bigger and more intimate whole. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We'll bless out this time. This is an opportunity, if you're here with another person or if you're on Zoom with another person, to get a little bit cozy with your neighbors. We'll sing number 3 on the purple sheet together. And Zoom friends, as is our tradition, please queue up some blessings for this community in our Birkat Kahila, our blessing of the community. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, Yevared et hanarim, vayikra vehem shemi. Vishem avotai, Vishem avotai, Avraham veYitzchak, veYigdu larov, veYigdu larov, bekerev haaretz. Yisimchem Elohim k'Sara k'Rivka k'Rachel u'Leah k'Ephraim v'ch'Menashe. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yedamba yadoruru, Yedamba yadayayo. May we always make space for each other, even if it means getting a little quieter ourselves. May we all fill the space and not shrink in the community. May we know when to be bold and when to be gentle. May we take the space we're offered and invite those unsure if they belong. May we approach our missteps with curiosity and openness towards repair. May we keep finishing, finding our way towards spring. May we love ourselves even as we come up short from how we wished we might be. May we feel called to enter our beautiful world. I think that is the end of our bracha. There is one more late arrival. May we give others and ourselves the grace not to blame ourselves for the things and the situations we cannot control. Ken yehi ratzon. Yedai, yadai, yadai, yadai. Yadai, 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 yadai.
As we arrive at this seal of our service, I just want to give tremendous thanks. May we never take for granted the gorgeousness of this Torah, the gorgeousness of these blessings, or of these melodies and tefillot that have been shared tonight, just the abundance in this community and the kavanah and the just generosity with which teachings have been shared tonight. So just feeling that sense of abundance in our community as we rise in body and spirit for V'hashevota, which is found on page 284. And if you're hunting for the words, it is in the first paragraph, 4 lines from the bottom.
Hashevo, v'hashevota, el levavecha, ki Adonai, Hu Elohim, Hashevota v'hashevota, el levavecha, ki Haya Elohim, Hia Elohim, Ne'emar, Haya Adonai, Melech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu, Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
You may be seated. I think I'm going to invite Linda Alter to join us here to offer some announcements on behalf of the community, and I'll also invite Barry Epstein, there you are, to join us up here. Well, I've already invited our announcement people, so we're going to do announcements and then we're going to do Kaddish. We will not miss Kaddish, that I am committed to, but we're going to do things a little bit out of order, which is great.
That's great.
Right, exactly right. We can handle this. Hi, Linda.
In the binder.
In the binder.
You never know what to expect when you come here. Something's going to happen.
You good, Linda?
Shabbat shalom, everybody. What a fantastic gathering tonight. It is unbelievable. It's been quite a week here at Shir Tikva with gatherings, I would say. So here's some announcements. Let's see. I'm Linda Alter, a member of the board. Thanks for being with us, everybody. It's really fantastic to see everybody here. At the end of the service, return the prayer books to the usher table. Separate song sheets from the sidurs. Mazel tov to Lisa Brownstein on your double nickels. Thank you to those who made tonight possible. Rabbi Ariel, Rabbi Joey, Rachel Lipkin, Mindy Benowitz. Thank you all so much. Gordon, the Macomb Minion out there in the sky, David Bailey, Julie Jacobs, and Lori Sweet. Thank you to our Shomrim for your steady presence. So all of our updates are in our weekly e-news and on our website. And if you're not signed up for the e-news, you can do that online. Here's a highlight of upcoming events. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. here in the sanctuary, join the community sing. Uh-oh, that's not true. I didn't. Okay, Pesach is coming. Check out. That one's true. Check out the e-news and our website. And let's see, programmatic updates. Some of you have been waiting years for new name tags. Or perhaps you just want your old name tag replaced. In any case, if you're a member of Shir Tikva, you'd like a new name tag, please email Nicolina. Not sure if you're a member? Email Nicolina. I'm going to raise my hand because I was going to write her a note and leave it in the box because I need my name tag. It's in some purse from some high holiday. I don't know. A reminder that your community is here to support you. So please reach out to our rabbis if you encounter a life change so they can activate the Shir Tikva network of support. Invite Barry Epstein. Okay, that's Barry. And there's one other thought I had about community. Oh, I was going to say that for those of you who are not over 55, as some of us are, I hope that you're here a really long time because as you stay here for the next 20 years, you'll be amazed at the relationships and the community that you will build.
Got more? Shabbat shalom. My name is Barry Epstein, not Steen, and I am here to tell you a little bit about the Prophet Fair that we're going to have tonight. Before I do that, my co-teacher, Jesse Goldfarb, had a previous engagement tonight, so he couldn't be here, so the words that I'm going to say are from both of us. The Prophet Fair is a pretty unique thing. We started it back in 2011, and it's covering a period from when Joshua invades Canaan till the building of the Second Temple. And in, the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, that is the second book besides the Torah. So what our students are supposed to learn for their bar mitzvah is, in addition to helping to lead the Friday and Saturday services, they're supposed to be teaching us, their parsha, their Torah parsha, and also they're supposed to be chanting and teaching us about their Haftarah. The problem was, back before 2011, we really weren't spending any time on the Haftarah. So Wendy Goldfarb, who many of you know, she was at that time our director of spiritual engagement. She talked me into teaching 6th grade, and then she decided that I should be challenged and figure out a way that I could engage the students in the Haftarah, and then we would do some major event for the community. So I stupidly said yes, and I didn't know what to do, and suddenly I had this vision, and it was, what is Minnesota all about? The state fair, the state fair. And so I found some cardboard tubes, and I had the kids read about their prophets and their kings, and they would decorate it, and whatever they wanted to do, as long as it told the story of their prophets, and it became Prophets on a Stick, all right? So throughout the years, it was good. The kids did a really good job with it. We actually had some kids did some other things. The band started, the nonprofits. We had somebody come up with a board game called Propoly, based on Monopoly, and it was good. But then we had 3 years, COVID, where we didn't do the Prophet Fair. So when we came back, Forrest Yesness, our director of youth and family, sat Jesse and I down and said, this is all right, but I think you could really go farther with the kids. I think the kids are ready to dig deeper than you're giving them credit for. So we both gulped, and we said yes and again. So what we decided to do was we got their portions of their Haftarah, summaries of it, we gave it to the kids, and we said, read about it. They learned a little bit about their prophets, and then they read about it. And I am just still in awe of what they did. I'm going to tell you a few of the things that they delved into that you'll see tonight. They delved into sexism towards Deborah, the incompetence of Samson, King David having blood on his hands, the foolishness of wise King Solomon, Amos and Jeremiah's view of injustice, divorce in Isaiah's time. Now that was very challenging and did a great job on that, and the pertinence of Ezekiel's vision of Valley of the Dry Bones. And this is what the kids did. I mean, and this is not easy stuff, and we had snow days, and it was crazy. But they really, each class, they really dug into it, and they did an amazing job. So what I would like to do is invite all of you to stay after the service. We'll set up in about 15 minutes. There'll be different tables set up. And this is part of the sixth graders starting to give back. For you parents, all you've been doing really is giving to your kids, okay? And it's time, they're getting ready for their bar mitzvah. They need to start giving back to the community. And they are joyful about it, they're really engaged, and they would love to teach you about it. So, Shabbat Shalom.
So there's an e-news announcement probably somewhere about Havarot that are forming, and Rabbi Joey and I are getting together Wednesday to start matching people up or whatever, or creating the groups. So go to the e-news and sign up if you want to participate in one. How's that?
We will go back in time for a moment, and I'll read the names of, in a second, we'll be saying the words of Mourner's Kaddish, which you can find on page 294. But before we do that, I'll read a name of folks in our community who have passed away, and also the names of loved ones who have passed away. If you hear a name that is someone you knew and loved, feel free to raise your hand and say just a sentence or two long story about who they were. If you don't hear your loved one on our list today, but you have someone on your mind or heart, when we're done reading through, please feel free to raise your hand, and we'll add those folks in. We're in the Shaloshim for Norman Pink, Joe L's uncle. We're also in the Shaloshim, the first 30 days since the death of Inez Althouse Hare, grandmother of Thrin Hare, Howard Levine, father of Sandra Levine, and Hank Henry O'Candler, father of Jennifer Kahn. We're also in the yard sites for Mike Alter, Linda Alter Capel's brother,
Let's see, my brother Mike was 3 years older than me, and there was good times and there were bad times. So I think I will remember him as a poet and as a person who longed for a connection with God also. He was a seeker, I'd say.
Clifford Bailey, Dave's father, Alan Becker, Julie Jacobs' grandfather.
My grandfather was the most fun grandpa ever. And I have a lot of stories, but I won't go into them all. I just want to say that a couple of years ago, Isabella said, "Grandma, you're a goofy grandma." And I thought, I did it! I'm just like my grandpa.
Joshua Beninoff, Jay Beninoff's father and grandfather of Jesse, David, and Sam. Leo Brook, Eric Brook's grandfather. Marion Burrell, Lisa Mayer's mother. Mary Doyle, Christina Rothstein's grandmother. Samuel Ely, Jacob Tenopaski Ely's grandfather.
Apparently, we got some competition for best grandfather ever. My granddad was a very loving and kind individual, also strict when needed to be. He was romantic. I'll never forget this woman he was dating, Carol, and how he'd always make time to call her anytime he would come up to Indiana to visit us. Yes, it was Indiana. I apologize. And there was one time we were watching a basketball game, and every 10 minutes or so, we kept making these trips, like back and forth to what I thought was the bathroom. So I asked Granddad, "Is everything all right with your prostate?" Obviously, I'm not subtle. He says, "Yeah, boy, I'm good. Why are you asking me?" "Well, because you keep running off." "Oh, no. Carol's on the phone. I just keep putting the phone down. I'll come back and I'll watch the basketball game with you, but I got to check back every 10 minutes. Romantic and a goof.
Michael Engel, Hirsch Berman's mentor. Alice Fried Epstein, Vicky Piercer's mother. Gloria Friedman, Amy Michael's mother. Jerry Jacobs, Andrea Freshbach's mother. Scott Jacobson, Rondi Atkins' beloved friend.
Scott and I met in grad school. We were both very older, returning students. We were both scared to death. We both smoked cigarettes, so obviously we became fast friends. He died way too young of pancreatic cancer, and he was the friend who saw what was good in me, saw what was not so good in me, and held both in equal measure.
James Landy, Laura Beth Landy's father. Eva Levy, Stephen Levy's grandmother. Robert L. Luald, Joe Carroll and Alfred Lowell's son. Michael Motz, Andrea Rubenstein's nephew. Annette Newman, Jane Newman's mother. Allison Al Owens, Carrie Crowler's father. Macy Sulzberger, Ron Sulzberger's father. Esther Sheffer, Eric Brooks' grandmother. Claire Silberman, Andrea Silberman's mother. Harold Stein, Marcy Stein's father, Nathan Webster Hart, Marion Hart's father, Mary Westgate, Joanne Gordon's mother, and Shirley Zimmerman, Joel Zimmerman's grandmother. Is there anyone else who's remembering anyone today?
I lost my grandma 21 years ago. Her name was Margaret Pasanaski Guterl, and she was a really warm, loving person. She loved crafts. I spent a lot of time with her when I was a little kid, and when I was thinking of a memory, the thing I remembered were these really flavorless biscuits that she had at her house. And I was like, why did I love them so much? But I think it was just part of being at her house. I just loved those flavorless biscuits.
Anyone else? You can find the words of Kaddish on page 294. We rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah be'amad yivrach hiruteh ve'amlich malchuteh b'chai echon uvyom echon ubchaye dechol beit Yisrael b'agala uvizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ameh amaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shenei dekutsha, richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Folks can be seated.
So we'll raise our cup of blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat lechaim. Very beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. So you're invited to come grab some challah at the end of the service. I'm going to invite us to sing our way out into the prophet fair, sing our way towards the prophets as they get set. So you're invited to bring your sidurim and your song sheets to the back table. Shabbat shalom, sweet, sweet Shabbat. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la. Ya la ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 yo la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 yo la 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 Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, yo la 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 la, ya la I lie.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, good evening. I'm glad you guys could go to lunch. I'm glad you guys could do that.